I don't know how to say it. This is not a podcast I ever thought I would have to do. But I need to tell you, Rachel Maddow is upset.
And, listen, but whether you're looking at small-scale local stories or the biggest picture stories about what's happening in our country, the story is the same, and it is now an undeniable thing. We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there. The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right?
You didn't listen to her.
How dare you?
You just gotta love how much the left is in love with itself and takes itself way more serious than, well, anybody else actually does. Come on, boys and girls. We're gonna make fun of Rachel Madcow. Hey, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. It literally is the only way that we get the word out that we're here. I'm reading some of the comments that you guys are making, and I thank you so much, wanting to know, why is this channel not bigger? Where are all the subscribers? Yeah, I'd like to know that too, because every once in a while, it's almost like YouTube looks the other way and forgets to throttle me back. And all of a sudden, one of my videos will take off 50,000, 100,000 views. And then it's like, oh no, Bramer escaped. Put him back. The only way people know I'm here is because of you. Thank you. So Rachel Maddow over at PMS-NBC is upset because she tried to warn you. She tried to tell you. She tried to let you know that if you reelected Donald Trump, we were going to be living in a fascist state and you were going to lose all of your rights and life is going to be bad and you don't even want to leave your house because there's no reason for living. And this begins her Monday night lament. And it's going viral online, but not for the reasons that she hoped.
And, listen, you can narrow or widen the aperture as much as you want. You can look at the very big picture or the small local picture anywhere in the country. And we try to do as much of both of those things as we can every week here on this show. But whether you're looking at small-scale local stories or the biggest picture stories about what's happening in our country, the story is the same, and it is now an undeniable thing. We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there. The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? It's August, it's a Monday, every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs, there are scandals here and there are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped. But also, at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge.
Nobody cares! Nobody cares! Nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares! Nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares! Nobody cares! Nobody cares! Nobody cares! Nobody freaking cares! Nobody cares!
Does anybody see the contradiction in what she's saying? On the one hand, she's upset. She's upset that you, me, us, ain't watching her, ain't listening to her, not paying a lick bit of attention of anything that she has to say when it comes to commentary and her hot take on whatever the political topic of the day is. She's upset. that we're living our lives. Listening to number one songs, dealing with family drama, going to work. In other words, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Life goes on, obla-dee, obla-da. And she's upset about that. And then she immediately goes into, it's here. And she's almost trying to fake cry, but she's been caught at it so many times now. She held herself back. But that little fake cry, it's here. I tried to warn you. You don't have to imagine anymore what fascism looks like. This is it. It's here. Fascism is me going, obla-dee, obla-da, my life goes on. That people aren't paying any attention because life is good. Life is normal. You can get into stadiums now and watch ball games without having to have a magic jab or a proof of magic jab card. You don't have to wear a face diaper unless you're an insane left loon. You can go about your life normally. You can enjoy movies again. You can listen to pop music. And wokeism is vanishing from our commercials. And we can even see, girls that ought to be in jeans selling jeans. It's normal. But to Rachel Maddow and to the liberal left and the progressives, this is bad. This is really bad. We are living in a fascist state. We are living in a dictatorship. Don't you know? Rachel, I want to help you. I really do. I think you mean well. And so I want to give you, as a pastor, some insight as to why you have lost credibility, viewers, and a following.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
You built up the phony Russia hoax narrative, and you knew the whole time it was a nothing burger. Every day, anything that Donald Trump does is an attack on democracy. He fires the woman that does the stats for labor, the jobs report. But even under Biden, every time she put out a report, within a month, the report had to be retracted, and literally tens of thousands of jobs would be lost, just gone, vanished off the paper. I'm sorry, President Trump did kind of make it political when he said, the numbers are rigged. What he should have really said is, this incompetent moron who came in under the Obama-Biden administration and was allowed to absolutely just every time the jobs report came out, it would come out at one number, and then within a week to 10 days, she's correcting it. She's taking not a few hundred numbers away, but thousands, tens of thousands. She's obviously not any good at her job. We had to let her go. He should have fired her back in January. But everything Donald Trump does, it's an existential threat to democracy. This man is an attack on our Constitution. I have a family member that honestly believes he's an attack on our Constitution. I've said, well, what has he done actually that's unconstitutional? I mean, judges stepped in when he was accused of doing non-constitutional things. Some of those things he's still not doing because it's making its way through the court system. Other of those things he's back to doing because the Supreme Court stepped in and said, yeah, actually, constitutionally, he's got the right to do that. So where's the breakdown in the Constitution? What am I missing here? We're living under an authoritarian, totalitarian government. This is like, the old Soviet Union. This is what it looks like. Did the people in the Soviet Union have pop music and live life and go to movies and que sera, sera and obla-dee, obla-da? Or were they going to city-managed supermarkets like the left wants to bring us through socialism, city-owned supermarkets, only to get there and find out they have no food. Standing in bread lines. The Soviet Union crumbled because the Soviet Union went hungry, because they were going broke. But of course, being this is Rachel Maddow, she wasn't done. She had more to say, more insight.
But just go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms. Think in cinematic terms. Imagine the cartoon-level caricature of what you think a dictatorship looks like. I mean, it's secret police, right? A massive, anonymous, unbadged, literally masked, totally unaccountable internal police force that apparently has infinite funding, but no identifiable leadership. And they act in ways designed to instill maximum fear and use maximum force. I mean, when you imagine an authoritarian country, right, what you imagine is masked secret police breaking people's car windows and snatching people off the streets and out of church parking lots and courtroom hallways and taking them away with no charges, no notice, no paperwork, no explanation, not letting them see lawyers, and then moving them secretly to what are effectively black site prisons, where they won't tell you who's there and where no one's allowed in to see what's going on.
And there you have it. The left doing what the left always does. Lie. Flat out lie. That what you're seeing with your eyes is not what you're actually seeing, and they're going to tell you what it is you're seeing. You're seeing a secret police force that's masked, and they're just grabbing Americans like the Gestapo, like the KGB, and throwing them into vans, and their families never see them again. No. These are ICE agents. Yes, they have a boss. They have several bosses and layers of accountability. And they're arresting criminal, illegal aliens who have been here, haven't exactly been nice people, haven't exactly stayed out of trouble, haven't exactly been, trying to keep a low profile and blend in. And yes, they have been through due process, some of them multiple times, and they have multiple deportation orders that the Biden administration just never got around to enforcing. So yeah, we're going to enforce it when we find them at Home Depot, when we find them outside of school, when we find them sitting in a parked car and they refuse to come along. Yeah, we're going to take them. That's not authoritarianism. That's called enforcing the law. You haven't got one example of an American that's been rounded up in this. The Maryland man, who turns out to be a Venezuelan drug dealer and human trafficker. Great pick. Great pick. Send them off to these third world prisons. You mean from their countries of origin? Oh, by the way, the Supreme Court said if their countries of origin won't take them back, we're not necessarily bound to only send them to their country of origin, or they have to stay here. If the president could get another country to take them, and that's not the president violating the Constitution or being an authoritarian. That's the Supreme Court saying, yes, Mr. President, you do have the authority to do that. Attack on democracy! Look at those poor senators in Texas who had to flee for safety to Illinois because they're gerrymandering. Right, like California, New York, Illinois, one of the worst gerrymandered states in the union that specifically create districts that are about the size of my pinky, but just so they can guarantee that a Democrat gets elected to sit in the House of Representatives so they can maintain a Democratic stronghold, a guaranteed victory in that state. And now that the Republicans are doing it, now it's an attack on democracy because the Republicans are simply following the Democratic playbook. Now this is a problem. And by the way, let me just tell you Democrats this. Running to Illinois to be protected by the Democratic version of Chris Christie, Governor Pritzker, who really does look like Chris Christie's long-lost twin brother. Look, We know how not popular Chris Christie is, or Krispy Kreme Christie is, within the Republican Party. Keep that in mind, Democrats. Keep that in mind that Chris Christie, who's, a hired gun now on ABC, and all he knows how to do is trash Trump and call him a wimp and a baby, and this is the same guy. He'll never be president. He will be indicted. He will be in prison. I was a prosecutor. Mark my words. Keep that in mind that Pritzker is just simply the guy with the D next to his name version of Chris Christie. Oh, and one more, Gavin Newsom, you're just the flip side of Mitt Romney. Don't forget that. You two even look a lot alike. But I digress. We're here to help Rachel Mad Cow, who's suffering from incurable Trump derangement syndrome and lying through her teeth. And Rachel, that's the real reason nobody listens to you, watches you, why you're cratering in the polls. You've made mountains out of nothing. You have endorsed and promoted the lawfare that was launched against Donald Trump. And you guys came up with nothing. And the American people have now looked at you and said, Rachel, you're nothing.